Welcome to our introduction to Windows XP. This video will show you how to change the look of the desktop. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to change the look of Windows XP. First, I've already mentioned that this is the desktop, your main work area. This background can be changed very easily. If we right-click anywhere on the desktop, and when I say anywhere on the desktop, I mean, of course, don't right-click on one of these icons because they will bring up a different context menu. Right-click anywhere here on the desktop where there isn't anything except the background. Right-click once, and it brings up the context menu. Left-click on Properties, and there are a number of display properties here. First of all, let's go to Desktop. Left-click, and you can change the background. So here, Background. If I left-click on Accent, you see it gives you an idea of how it looks. If I left-click on None, I don't have any background. Left-click on Autumn, and that's what Autumn looks like. And if we OK that, this is what Autumn looks like on your desktop. If I right-click again, select Properties, left-click, go to Desktop, and actually I'm going to move it, left-click, hold and drag until I get it over here, left-click on Desktop, left-click on Azul. I can also change the position. I can center it, tile it, or stretch it. Generally, you want to either tile it or stretch it. So let's OK that. OK, and this is how it looks. So it's very easy to change the desktop background, as you can see, to whatever you may prefer. Once again, right-click, left-click on Properties, and let's drag this over again. Left-click on Desktop, let's go to None, and left-click on that, and OK that. You may prefer this look. It just depends on what you would like, and obviously this is a far more uncluttered look. But many people do like to have a background picture. Okay, so that's one way you can change how Windows XP looks. Let's right-click again, left-click on Properties, and OK, select Themes. Okay, Windows XP Modified. If we left-click here, you can see that you've got a few choices there. So let's go to Windows XP, left-click, and OK, it looks largely the same. And it would be the same, of course, because it's the default Windows XP setup. The only customized change I made, of course, was to the background, so Windows XP looks just as it did before. Then there's Windows Classic. If you're used to using Windows 98, for example, or Windows 2000, or even Windows NT, if you choose Windows Classic, you may feel more familiar with it. If I OK that, this is how Windows Classic looks, slightly more minimalist. The Start menu button looks different, and everything looks just a little different. So that's one option. But again, let's just right-click. You see that nothing really changes, just the appearance. Right-click, left-click Properties, and let's take it back to Windows XP. And instead of doing OK, we can Apply. So we left-click on Apply, and it comes into effect immediately. And there we go, it's taken effect. Let's go to Desktop, and OK, let's change the background to, let's scroll down here, and let's go with Crystal. Left-click on Crystal, and Apply, and it immediately takes effect, as you can see. If I click, hold, and drag, by the way, you can see how it looks. Interestingly, with Windows, you can even drag them off the edge of the screen, but keep a little bit of that title bar so you can click, hold, and drag it back over. Okay, so those are a couple of ways that you can customize how Windows XP looks. And also, it changed the feel of it as well. Okay, a couple more things. Screensaver. Left-click. The screensaver is something that comes on after a certain amount of time. The benefit is that, for example, if you left your monitor on overnight, with just the same image on it, in theory at least, it would start burning that image into your monitor, affecting your monitor negatively. That may be true for older monitors, but it really isn't true anymore. But anyway, there's certainly no harm in setting up a screensaver. So you can choose when you want the screensaver to appear. And actually, let's do a preview. Left-click to do a preview. And here's how it looks. Okay, that's not very exciting. It's just the Windows XP logo, and it just moves around a bit. That's one screensaver that's meant to help your screen, and you can set it to come on after a set amount of time, so if you just move the mouse, the screensaver disappears. Okay, let's change the screensaver. You can see that there are a number of options. Flower box, and you can see it here, a little preview. 3D flying objects, and that's how that looks. For another example, let's go to Mystify, and okay, that's quite an active one. Or Starfield, left-click to select. And you can click here on the down arrow to bring the wait number down, say to 10 minutes, or left-click on the up arrow to bring the number of wait minutes up to, for example, a half hour, 30 minutes. And then you can choose settings. So you can set the warp speed for these stars to be fast or slow. If you set it to be fast, and then left-click here and hold the mouse button down, the number of stars jumps up, as you can see. It jumps up as high as 200 and then goes back to the beginning again. But if you left-click on the down arrow when it's at 10, it goes immediately back to 200. If we OK that and click on Preview, it's a very busy screensaver, so you may choose to go with that. Then just move the mouse to get rid of it. Okay, those are some of the options, so just click on Apply, left-click on Apply, and there we go, it's taken effect. Finally in this video, if we go to the Appearance tab, these are called tabs, by the way, these little things. They're like dividers, the tabs on dividers in folders. That's why they're called tabs. So click on Appearance, left-click, and you can make some more advanced changes here. You don't have to, but you can play around with these if you like. Windows and buttons, OK. Windows XP style or Windows Classic style. That's what the Classic style looks like. And Windows XP, you know what that looks like. It looks like that. Color scheme, OK, not many choices. Default, blue, or olive green. Left-click that. So the green looks like that. Or silver. Left-click that. And that's what silver looks like. Let's leave it at silver. Font size. Left-click, large fonts. OK, or even extra large fonts. Left-click. And by the way, all these are menus, so you just simply click once with the left mouse button to make it appear, move the mouse to make your choices appear, and then left-click on your choice. So large fonts. Okay, let's click on Effects. And these are more advanced. Use the following transition effects for menus and tooltips. These aren't very important, really. These are just things you can play around with to see what you might prefer for the way Windows XP looks and feels. Use the following methods to smooth edges of screen fonts. Okay, again, these really aren't that important, but you can play around with them if you wish. Let's cancel that, left-click to cancel, and let's have a quick look at Advanced. Okay, Advanced Appearance. You can see that you can make changes to nearly every item on Windows XP, and as you can see, it tells you exactly what each item is called. Active title bar, and if we change the color to red, and you can see the changes here so you know what the active title bar is. But really, you don't need to get involved in this level of nitty-gritty for making changes. You can if you wish, but it's really not that important. If you want, you can make changes to the active window border. Let's change it to yellow, and you can see what that looks like. Okay, that's not very visible. Let's change it to magenta, and actually let's make it a bit wider in size. And you can see that's the active window border, and we've made it magenta. So as you can see, you can really change almost every aspect of the appearance of Windows XP if you really want to get involved in this level. So if we OK that, and OK that, and our changes have gone into effect, and you can see how it's starting to look different. So as you can see, Windows XP is really very flexible if you want to dive in and make changes to the look and feel of different elements of the screen. You can make broad, sweeping changes by changing the background, or whether you go with Classic Style or Windows XP Style, and you can even make changes to the different elements of the screen. So if you wish, you can play around with those and make Windows XP look and feel exactly the way you want, at least within the large number of options that you have available.